Imagine this: you wake up one day, scroll through your newsfeed while sipping overpriced oat milk lattes, and see this headline: dire wolves are back. Romulus and Remus double in size. Moas might be next. Excuse me, what? Did science take a dare from a 5th grader and just go all in on Ice Age cosplay? Well, yes, and no doubt we haven't exactly recreated Game of Thrones furry death machines or full-on Jurassic Parked a 12-foot feathered skyscraper bird, but we're dangerously close to doing both. Welcome to 2025, where resurrecting extinct animals is somehow a budget line in actual companies, and Peter Jackson has traded hobbits for birds that could trample your Prius. This isn't science fiction. This is science drama, and it's playing out in labs, wildlife reserves, cultural debates, and your imagination. Buckle up, fellow Homo sapiens, we're going prehistoric. Dire wolves, when gray wolves hit the gym. Back in October 2024, Colossal Biosciences, a real company founded by billionaire science bro Ben Lamb and Harvard geneticist George Church, made headlines when they introduced the world to Romulus and Remus, two adorable, for now, genetically edited gray wolves. Their DNA was tweaked using CRISPR to include traits from the long-extinct dire wolf, a massive predator that went extinct over 10,000 years ago. In January 2025, a third pup named Khaleesi was born, bringing peak Game of Thrones energy into the scientific community. By July 2025, Romulus and Remus weigh over 90 pounds each at just 6 months old, twice the size of regular wolves at their age. Khaleesi, who's younger, is around 35 pounds, but she's gaining fast. These aren't just fluffy murder beasts, they're biological achievements with biceps. Are these actually dire wolves? Nope, that would require viable ancient DNA, which doesn't exist. Instead, Colossal genetically engineered existing gray wolves to express traits found in dire wolves. Bigger heads, stronger jaws, shorter snouts, more muscle, and a paler coat. Think of it like making your golden retriever look like a lion, but it's still a retriever at heart. They've recreated the vibe of the dire wolf. The cosplay, not the character. But let's be honest, it's very convincing cosplay. Like, please don't eat me, sir, levels of convincing. They even adjusted vocal patterns to mimic the low-frequency growl believed to be used by dire wolves, so yes, they sound as intimidating as they look. Their bone structure, too, has been bulked up to resemble fossil records, making them stockier and more massive than any modern wolf. Add a foggy forest and a full moon, and you've got yourself a walking legend with a CRISPR upgrade. But hold up, what's the science catch? While Colossal is out here flexing furry Frankenstein muscle, many in the scientific community are doing double takes. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, aka the Fun Police, has said plainly, these are not true de-extinctions. In their view, this is genetic remixing, not resurrection. Also, fun fact, recent DNA studies show that dire wolves weren't even closely related to gray wolves. Genetically, they were more like that guy at work you thought was your cousin, but turns out he's from an entirely different continent. So Romulus and Remus aren't back from extinction. They're more like heavily edited impersonators in a National Geographic reboot. Their DNA is still 100% Canis lupus, just with some prehistoric flair layered on top. They may look and grow like Ice Age legends, but deep down, they're still modern wolves doing an extremely committed character role. And if dire wolves had a fan club, this would be the world's most expensive cosplay convention. The MOA Project, Peter Jackson's new epic. And just when you thought science couldn't get any weirder, in struts a giant flightless bird from New Zealand, with legs for days and no chill whatsoever. Enter the MOA, a prehistoric bird that was so big it could dunk a basketball, and so extinct it hasn't been seen since the 1400s. In mid-2025, Colossal Biosciences partnered with the University of Canterbury, the Nai Tahu Research Center, and none other than filmmaker Peter Jackson, who dropped $15 million into the project and contributed his personal MOA fossil collection. You know, just casual billionaire hobbies. The mission? Bring back the MOA, or something genetically close enough that it might eat your backyard trampoline. So, what's the plan? Step 1. Sequence the MOA genome from ancient bone fragments. Step 2. Compare it to living birds like the tinamou or emu. Step 3. Use CRISPR to engineer MOA traits into surrogate embryos. Step 4. Somehow incubate those embryos in giant bird eggs or artificial incubators. Step 5. Hope it hatches and doesn't immediately start a rebellion. Science is still working out step 4. Turns out, incubating a half-ton bird egg is not a skill set anyone has yet. Cultural baggage and bird drama. Here's where the moa story gets real. In New Zealand, the moa isn't just an extinct animal, it's a tauna, or sacred cultural treasure. The Maori people have deep ancestral connections to this bird, and its potential return raises huge questions. Some iwi tribes see the project as a way to restore lost ecological and spiritual connections. Others argue it's scientific overreach, a modern twist on colonial control over ancestral land and life. It's one thing to bring back a species. It's another to do it without the blessing of the people who hold its cultural soul. Maori scientists and leaders are demanding not just consultation, but co-ownership of the data, decisions, and outcomes. Some are even calling for the repatriation of moa DNA samples taken from indigenous land and stored in foreign institutions, an issue wrapped in both legal and spiritual tension. This isn't just about science. It's about sovereignty, storytelling, and the delicate balance between cutting-edge innovation and centuries-old stewardship. When you revive a sacred species, you're not just resurrecting biology, you're reawakening responsibility. Why all this matters to storytellers like you. Whether you're a content creator, educator, or part-time science meme lord, there's a goldmine of story energy here. These aren't just updates about DNA and pet projects for eccentric billionaires. These are real-life narratives of ambition, identity, loss, power, and resurrection. They combine the spectacle of prehistoric beasts made new, the emotion of restoring something truly lost, the ethical tension of playing God with CRISPR. It's mythology meets molecule, tragedy meets TED Talk, Jurassic Park meets TikTok. You don't need a lab coat to engage with these stories. You need curiosity, empathy, and the ability to weave wonder with truth. Because if you're telling stories that make people feel, you're already doing the most powerful science there is. Changing hearts. What's actually happening right now as of July 2025? Let's recap the factual status because even the funny stuff has receipts. Dire wolves. Romulus and Remus are over 90 pounds. Khaleesi was born in January 2025. None are true dire wolves. Their DNA is from gray wolves, edited to express 14 dire traits. They're healthy, massive, and under close observation. MOA project. Still in early sequencing stages. No chick hatched yet. Genome research is ongoing. Peter Jackson's involvement is real. Ethical and cultural debates are at the forefront. Both projects are using CRISPR gene editing, ancient DNA sequencing, and an uncomfortable amount of optimism. Just because we can, should we? That's the question hanging over all of this, like a giant bird shadow. What does it mean to revive a species? Is it enough to make something look like the original? Should we spend billions to bring back animals when existing species are going extinct daily? Can we tell stories that respect both science and indigenous rights? Can we educate without exploiting? Inspire without oversimplifying? This is where storytellers, educators, and communicators are vital. Because the power of a de-extinction project isn't just in the genes, it's in how we frame the narrative. Whether you're excited or skeptical, hopeful or horrified, one thing's for sure, you're feeling something. That's the sign of a powerful story, and in 2025, science isn't whispering anymore, that it's howling, that it's squawking loudly through the bushes, and it's asking you, what kind of world do you want to rewild? So grab your notepad, your mic, your camera, or your sketchpad. The next great story of nature, science, and humanity is being written now, and who knows, maybe the next headline will be, "You won't believe which extinct species just got a Netflix deal." If this cracked open your curiosity or your jaw, smash that like button like a moa foot on soft moss. Subscribe for more Future Is Now storytelling, and drop a comment. Which extinct animal would you want to bring back and why? Because stories this wild deserve storytellers just like you.